Hello, and welcome to your next installment of the Stevia Chef. Today, we're not making pumpkin pie, even though we've got pumpkin out. What we're going to do is we're making pumpkin soup. Now this is very simple to do, it's very fast, it tastes really good, and your family will enjoy it. The way I'm doing this here is I'm using Stevia Recipe from Emperor's Herbologist. We've got the Libby's canned pumpkin, and it's solid pumpkin, it's not pumpkin pie mix. Make sure that you get the pumpkin mix, and it's unsweetened, it's just pumpkin, that's all it is. We've got unsweetened almond milk, you could use unsweetened soy milk, you could use unsweetened coconut milk, or if you want to use dairy, you can also use plain dairy. A little bit of cinnamon, some sea salt, and that's it. So as you can see, the ingredient list is very small. What I'm going to do now, if you want, and I've tried this before and it worked really nice, if you wanted to add some meat to it, you could do that. You could take like some meatballs or a little bit of stew meat or something of that sort, and that tastes really good too. And maybe, I haven't tried it yet, but you may want to experiment even using turkey. You can also add some other things if you wanted to add coconut or what have you. But for right now, we're just going to make this very simple. Okay, I'm going to open the can of pumpkin, and when I come back, the can will be opened and we'll get started. Okay, so the pumpkin now is open, and we're going to just take that out of the can, put that into the pot here that we're going to use to make this soup. It smells really nice, the pumpkin. When you open up the can, it's when it's fresh, it just really smells good. Now, the size of this can, by the way, this is 15 ounces. You can make the pumpkin pie soup or the pumpkin soup with either one can of this, two 15-ounce cans, a 28-ounce can. You'll just have to adjust the ingredients as they are. And we're going to do this in what's called baker's percentage for the main parts. Baker's percentage is you have like one of these cans of pumpkin, and it's going to be 2 cans of water to that 1 can of pumpkin. So you'll always know whatever you're going to use, you just multiply by that. All right, now I'm going to go put some water in here, and we'll be right back. All right, so I poured 1 can, and now we'll pour the second can of water into the pot here. And we've got this nice little pumpkin-y mix. Okay, now what we're going to do is we'll put in some cinnamon, and the cinnamon is going to be to taste. I'm using 1/3 of a teaspoon. Remember, you're not making pie here, you're making soup. All right, now we're going to put in 1/8 of a teaspoon of Stevia Recipe. I have a 1/4 teaspoon, so 1/2 of that would be 1/8. We'll put that in. We don't want to make this over sweet. We just want to have a little bit of a sweet taste coming to it. Now we'll blend, and then I need to put in salt. And I found also 2/3 teaspoon of salt. This is the Himalayan salt. So it's a lot stronger than your regular table salt, more of a salty taste. And it's up to you however much you want to put into it. Then what we do is we blend this up. And you don't need to watch me do that. So be back as soon as this is all mixed in. Okay, and if you feel that this consistency here is a little bit too watery for you, you can always adjust this and you can add in a little bit less water. What we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of milk now, and the purpose of the milk is kind of like a thickener for it, and it'll add a little bit of flavor as well. So what I'm going to do will be 1/2 of a can of milk, the almond milk. There we go, that's a nice color on that. And we'll mix this up. Now the beauty on this soup is you can actually serve it hot or you can serve it cold. Either way, whichever you prefer. The only thing that's left to do now is just heat it up and eat it up. Okay, and remember the ingredients. You'll have 1/8 of a teaspoon of Jaja Stevia available at emperorsherbologist.com. Jaja Stevia is the best tasting Stevia that I've used, and that's why I continue to use it. No bitterness, no licorice, no aftertaste, and it sweetens really nice. If you want to add a little bit more, a little bit less Stevia Jaja Stevia to the pumpkin soup mix, that's fine. Again, it's up to taste. We're taking a can of Libby's, 15-ounce can of Libby's pumpkin, and you'll expand that. Use more or less, whatever however much you want to make, and whatever your requirements are. We've taken 2/3 of a teaspoon of Himalayan salt, and you can get the salt. You could use table salt if you want. You could use sea salt. You could use whatever you prefer. We've got 1/2 of a cup of pure almond. This silk is the one that we've got here. Picked that up at Walmart, and it was a very good deal. Okay, and make sure that it is unsweetened almond milk or soy milk or coconut milk or whatever kind of milk you're using. You will use some cinnamon, ground cinnamon to taste. I took 1/3 of a teaspoon. Depending on what you want, you may want to do a little bit more, you may want to do a little bit less. It's better not to put in the other pumpkin pie spices. They just don't seem to work out tasting as good. So just leave it with the cinnamon, and you're sweetening it with the Jaja Stevia. Then you just heat it up so it simmers, and keep stirring, and then eat it and enjoy. Look forward to hearing your responses, and I hope you have a successful soup.